Hello and welcome back to Big Mouth. And tonight we are doing a live chat. And tonight I've got a flashpoint theory. Flashpoint theory. It's all deleted apart from MOS, Aquaman, Shazam. I got that wrong. I can't believe I got that wrong. It took me ages to put that up. I can't believe I've just put. Anyway, let's start again. Flashpoint theory. It's all deleted apart from MOS, Aquaman, Shazam, and Wonder Woman 2017. So give me your theories on that. Let me just type that back in. I can't believe that. I can't believe I got that wrong. Right. Flashpoint theory. It's all deleted apart from MOS, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam. Please give me your thoughts on this. Flashpoint theory. It's all deleted apart from MOS, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam. Yeah, that's it. And that's what I'm asking you today. I want your thoughts on this. But first of all, there is some news because Marvel unveils Black Panther 2 title, first Eternals footage, and more. Please give me your thoughts while I'm reading this out. I'll be keeping an eye. I'll be responding to your questions. I'll be your comments or anything. The studio also, Ronnie Dodge. Hi, Mick. Hi, Ronnie. The studio also reveals Captain Marvel 2 is titled The Marvels. It looks like Bree's getting sidelined there and sets release dates for Ant-Man 3 and Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Marvel Studios has unveiled a few tidbits as well as its first Eternals footage in a sizzle reel intended to entice audiences to return to movie theaters as they reopen. Marvel revealed that the upcoming sequel to Black Panther will be titled Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I think that's a pretty good title. The film, due out on July the 8th, 2022, follows the untimely death of star Chadwick Boseman in July. Filmmaker Ryan Coogler reworked the script following Boseman's passing, and star Lupita Nyong'o noted recently, the way in which he has reshaped the second movie is so respectful of the loss we've all experienced as a cast and as a world. Meanwhile, Captain Marvel 2 has been titled The Marvels, once again starring Brie Larson. The film will also include teenage hero Miss Marvel, Iman Vellani, who will first be introduced in her own Disney Plus show. Actor Tinoa Paris, a breakout from WandaVision, also stars as Monica Rambeau. I liked her, actually. The Marvels, due out November 11, 2022, is from filmmaker Nia DaCosta. Ronnie Dodge. Will be interesting next year. Both Marvel and DC having 4 movies each. Yeah, for the first time. That's awesome, isn't it? Marvel also set release dates for filmmaker Peyton Reed's Ant-Man and the Wasp, Nobody Cares, Quantumania, which is set for February 17, 2023, and James Gunn's Guardian of the Galaxy Volume 3, due out May the 5th, 2023. The sizzle reel includes the first footage from Eternals, the November the 5th film from Oscar-winning Nomadland filmmaker Chloe Zhao. It also features looks at Black Widow, which on July the 9th becomes Marvel Studios' first theatrical release in 2 years, and the upcoming Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings, out September the 3rd. So that's your Marvel news. Big sizzle reel with all their basically plugging Phase 4, and of course some of our fans using that to bash WB over their head. I remember the days when our fans were slaughtering the MCU. Now they're taking its side over the DCEU. This agenda won't do. This narrative won't do. It won't work, but you keep on going, everyone. Yeah. So why do I think that Flashpoint will delete everything apart from MOS? Did I put that down, Ash? Yeah, it will delete everything apart from MOS, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam. I believe this because I think that Warner Brothers actually like Man of Steel. Man of Steel is the perfect film in a lot of ways because it's directed by Zack Snyder. but he actually has nothing to do with the story of the film. Leroy Kong, the Flash movie will fail. Wiping the Snyderverse is a bad idea. They will never be MCU. Walter Hamada sucks. Thanks for that, Leroy. Basically, they're still, if my theory is right, they're still going to keep Man of Steel, which is the beginning of the Snyderverse, or should we say the David Goyerverse. So I think MOS stays. I think Wonder Woman 2017 stays. I think Aquaman stays. And I think Shazam stays. And I think this makes sense. I think the rest of the films you can take or leave them, and it'll be interesting. Maybe the Suicide Squad stays as well. Obviously, the first Suicide Squad I'm talking about, because we've got another Suicide Squad coming out, which has got a couple of characters from the original film. So that might stay. Why delete BVS Suicide Squad? I'm just telling you, I'm not telling you what I would do, Sam Dejan reviews. I'm telling you what they will probably do. That's just my theory. You'd have to ask them why they delete BVS, but BVS is a very divisive movie, as much as I love it. So from their point of view, that's the movie that started their problems and their discourse with Zack Snyder. They were happy with Snyder over Man of Steel because they blamed Goya for it not making over $1 billion in the box office rather than Snyder. That's why they gave the green light for BVS. They insisted that Batman had to be in the Man of Steel sequel, right? That was their idea. And they said to Zack, do with it what you want. And he did. But yeah, I mean, it's obvious to me that they would delete BVS, which is a very controversial thing to do. Of course it is. I love the film. I think it's an amazing film. But the film is an acquired taste. Leroy Kong, that does not make sense. WB's are full. DC Films is dead. And that's Leroy Kong, Kong's opinion. I always thought your name was Leroy King, or did you change it to Kong? Just interested. So that's how I see it. And that would be a very interesting premise, of course. Now, Henry Cavill was replying to someone's comment on his Instagram. I don't know exactly what was said, but apparently they were having a debate about Zod wanting to destroy all life form and keeping the Kryptonians. And basically, Henry was saying how Superman didn't agree with that mentality, and they were having a good little discussion about that. So it's nice to see that Henry is still talking about Man of Steel. If he's talking about Man of Steel is part of the new DCEU. Kong is always my name. Okay. I just thought you did it after. You see, I didn't ever read your name properly, did I? Obviously, I used to call you Leroy King in my head. But pleased to meet you, Leroy Kong. But yeah, I think this makes sense. I think Man of Steel broke Origin Movies' record at the time. I think Shazam obviously came from the new kind of leadership. Aquaman did very well, over $1 billion. The franchise's most successful film. They're not going to delete, but obviously I'm saying they're getting rid of Wonder Woman 84 and Birds of Prey. Ronnie Dodge, this gives me hope that Henry will be a part of the multiverse after The Flash. I think so. I think going forward, Henry will have some involvement. No question about that. We need more Henry Cavill Superman. We do, Leroy. We do, and I think the studio understands this, and I think they realise that he's a very popular Superman. And going forward, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting, and we know that Henry really likes Man of Steel. That's the film. The film, out of all the films he made as Superman, that's the film he really likes. And he's always been fighting for a direct sequel to Man of Steel rather than the other one, because that's the one he agrees with. He likes what they did with that film. And so I think it makes perfect sense that they're all on the same page about that. But I mean, it doesn't matter what they delete. They can't delete films from your memory. So, you know, we love Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice. And so we can keep on watching that film. So in that element, it doesn't really matter. It's sad that it's been deleted from the franchise if it's true, but I can see them doing that. Of course, this is just my opinion. These are not facts. I'm just taking a calculated guess here. You know, anything's possible here, but it's looking that way. It looks like this is the direction they could go in. I don't think even if you wanted to, you could delete the first film from the franchise. And it's got a lot of fans, you know. It's probably the most popular film out of all the Snyder films, all in all. Scott Edwards. Hello, my friend. Hello, Scott. So, Scott, how do you feel about the title of Captain Marvel 2, The Marvels. I think that Brie could be sidelined a little bit with that. That's interesting because it's not a Captain Marvel film. It's a film about the Marvels. That's interesting, isn't it? But it was a great sizzle reel. If I was an MCU stan, I'd be very excited. They went down the emotional route. It really worked. Leroy King, WB are going in the wrong direction. Well, we'll soon find out when these films start to come out. And Ronnie Dodge, the one thing that makes me excited for The Flash is everything will end up connected like TV shows and movies. Yes, the whole idea of the multiverse strategy, Ronnie, is to basically link it all together. It doesn't matter what Earth, what universes these things are from, interconnected, like Ann Sarnoff said. Kavari, Marvel Studios Phase 4 trailer looks like a shot at DC fandom. I don't think it's a shot at DC fandom at all. It's what, a 3-minute thing, sizzle reel. You can't compete with what fandom's going to do, but they've got their Phase 4 movies up and running, so they're going to push that narrative. Of course, they hinted towards Fantastic Four as well, which I forgot to mention. I'm excited for that one. At last, we're going to bring the Fantastic Four to the MCU franchise, so that's exciting. I don't think they're focusing on anything but their own franchise. Sam Dejan reviews, we need Man of Steel 2 and Batfleck movie. We'll see what happens there. But it's certainly a very good sizzle reel. Scott Edwards, I just love DC and Marvel content. I'm excited for everything we're getting. I know you are, Scott, and if everyone was like you, mate, the world would be a better place. Unfortunately, people take sides in life. That's just the way it is. It's the human mentality. That's okay, but there's a pie-eating mentality. Man of Steel 2, JL2 and JL3, Batfleck will give Marvel run for their money. And, you know, it's very interesting. I heard someone saying on Twitter today, oh, all Walter Hamada has to do is apologise. So if this would be my sarcastic apology to Ray Fisher, right? I'm really sorry that my bosses at Warner Media told me to tell you just to mention Joss and not the other people and not to throw anybody else under the bus, right? It's obvious that Walter Hamada didn't get up one morning and just went up to Ray Fisher and said those things. But why is it that this is all Walter Hamada's fault? Why is it that Fisher is going after Hamada rather than the whole studio itself? It's interesting, isn't it? What is the agenda there? Because Walter Hamada at the end, Leroy Kong, again, DC will always be one Marvel, my two. Ronnie Dodge, I'm excited for everything. DC, but The Flash is my most anticipated DC movie. Next year, apart from Batman, the Batman's going to be awesome. Hot Takes Tuesdays. The multiverse is a good idea in theory, but the way DC are doing it, where's Red Sun? Where's Justice League, New Frontier? Green Lantern movie? What has Zatanna got to do with the multiverse? Well, we're getting a multiverse. We're getting a Zatanna movie, so it's all going to be there, isn't it? In terms of Red Sun and all that. Well, within this live action franchise, that hasn't been done yet. But I had a really brilliant idea a couple of months ago. Seeing we're doing the multiverse strategy, why not involve Bruce Timm's animated universe? Why can't we have Timm's, animated franchise crossover with the live action? Wouldn't that be exciting? Kavari, I think we will get Superman announcement at DC Fandom. So do I. Kavari, I think we will get Superman announcement at DC. Oh, yeah. You put that twice. I don't know what happened there. Green Lantern movie. The Green Lantern movie, I think, will happen. I don't know who's going to do that, though. I think it will spin off from the Green Lantern core TV show, for sure. And so they've already got a Green Lantern universe coming up as well. Scott Edwards, are you going to watch The Bad Batch? Oh, yes, Scott, definitely. I'm really, really excited for that. Anything Star Wars that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are involved in, I'm very interested. Did you hear that Zack Snyder's Justice League Blu-ray is sold out in the UK? Yes, I was very lucky to pre-order a 4K Blu-ray from Amazon UK, even though I'm out here in Cyprus. So I should get that sometime in June. So I'm very excited for that. Yes, they're sold out. They're very popular, but I don't think they've got enough copies. They didn't have enough copies of the restored BVS. I had to wait ages to pre-order mine, hopefully getting it sometime this month. So there's no question they didn't make enough of those, which is interesting. I don't think they ordered the full batch. That's what I think. But yes, what Hot Take Tuesdays was saying, The multiverse is a good idea in theory. Of course, we don't really know how they're going to do it because we haven't seen what they're going to do yet. So it's interesting. Obviously, people hear about something. We know what the plan is. It's literally for Barry Allen to reboot the universe after he creates this new universe by saving his mother. That's the whole idea. Now, what Andy Muschietti told us last year at Fandom is that the universe will be rebooted, but nothing will be forgotten, which is awesome. Scott Edwards, does it being a teamer movie make you excited for the Marvels? Yes, Scott, I think there's more potential in it for sure. It means they're not focusing just on Captain Marvel. Ronnie Dodger, I think DC Fandom will have massive announcements since it's taking longer for them to plan everything this year. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a big thing. Comics, films, TV shows. It's going to be a huge event. Ben Pottimore, DC Hamada tried to save Jeff Johns and throw Berg and Joss Whedon under the bus. Hamada cares for entertainment, not accountability. That's why Fisher is going after Hamada. Well, I'm a movie and TV fan, Ben, and I don't care about accountability. It's not yours or my responsibility to care about accountability over entertainment. Now, if Ray Fisher wants to go down that way, and as for Hamada, he was clearly doing what the studio told him, and that's my point. Why go after Hamada when he knows he was working under orders, right? Ray, where are we? Yeah, Karari. Ray Fisher made things harder for the Snyderverse by calling Hamada and WB racist for the actions of one person. Yeah, and it's interesting calling an Asian man racist, isn't it? Hot Takes Tuesdays. What great multiverse comics is Zatanna or Blue Beetle in? Just think you need to fix the core team before moving on to these guys. Also, Zatanna and Blue Beetle, of all the smaller DC characters, really? But then again, Hot Takes Tuesday, whatever they were going to choose, you could say that, couldn't you? You could say, oh, why are they choosing that? Why are they choosing Plastic Man? Why are they choosing Robin? Or it could be about anything. Scott Edwards, are Lana and Clark on good terms by the end of Smallville? Yes. But I think you realise, Scott, that Lana Lang is not Clark Kent's destiny. So there's a bit of a clue there for you. Season 4 is the debut of Lois Lane, probably one of the best Lois Lanes as well. Scott Edwards, are Lana and Clark on good terms? Oh, no, I've read that. Ben Pottimore, I watched 4 episodes of Invincible and it's great. Have you watched yet? Do you know what? I was so tired after doing this live last night. I tried to watch it, but I fell asleep. But it looks awesome, and I really, really want to get into that show. But it seems like you like it. I think most people like it. Kavari, no studio will hire Ray Fisher. He'll get some roles somewhere, and Zach will probably sort him out as well. But, at the end of the day, you can't be exposing studio secrets. No one's going to trust you. He had a private conversation with Hamada, and he exposed it. There was no need to do that. Sam Dejan reviews, best Lois Lane is Erica Durant. I think she is. It's either her or for me or Margot Kidder. But I think that she's amazing. Sam Dejan reviews. Cyborg should get a series on HBO Max. If he behaved himself, he would have done. Definitely. But unfortunately, when we work for other people, we have to toe the line. Because Ray Fisher seems to think that everyone should bend the knee to him. Hot Takes Tuesday. I would choose Vixen because of Black Panther success. Martian Manhunter, Jon Stewart, try and find a cool Asian superhero, etc. If I was going to do smaller characters. Well, I like Vixen, and there's no question why you can't do it. I don't think we should be doing things because the other studio did well with it. I think we should choose these people because we've got a good idea for them. And I would love to see a great Asian superhero, but it should be for the right reasons, and we want that. But, it should always be about the element of the entertainment. Kavari, Hamada came into power after the JL reshoot. Why blame him? Exactly, Kavari. It makes no sense. There's no logic. Because he doesn't want to go after Warner Media publicly, so he's gone after Hamada. Hot Takes Tuesday. MCU copied DC, so DC can do the same. They get Hot Takes Tuesday. They can copy. I'd rather they didn't. I mean, they're going to copy the format of an interconnected shared universe, so why not? Sam Dejan reviews. DC could have done the Atom movie. Yes, definitely. Maybe in the future. Scott Edwards, thoughts on the on Thanos in MCU? Well, obviously, in Infinity War, he was great. The step-by-step post-credit stuff they did with him was interesting. I don't approve of what they did with him in Endgame. Having Thor suddenly kill him, then them fighting a past version at the end was dumb to me, as dumb as Professor Hulk. And a lot of Hulk fans agree with me. I wish we could get some Hulk fans in tonight. Kavari, will Hamada ever make another JR movie? Yep, I believe it's in the plans. I think by the end of Flashpoint, you will have the new Justice League. I think it's in the plans. It's going to happen. Don't know who's going to direct it. Could be Andy Muschietti. Could be J.J. Abrams. But definitely it's going to happen. There will be a brand new Justice League movie. Sam Dejan reviews, I want a new Hulk movie. Don't we all? But good news, Ruffalo's Hulk will be in She-Hulk. So that sounds pretty awesome to me. But yeah, he deserves his own movie. But they're never going to do a great Hulk. It's always going to be family viewing with the MCU. That's the problem. Sam Dejan reviews, I want JL2. Why are we getting a new JL? Well, because they're restructuring the franchise. That's why. Ronnie Dodge, I saw something on Twitter that fans was attacking Toby Emmerich brother on Twitter the other day. Well, it doesn't surprise me. That's the mentality. It's pie eating, isn't it? Scott Edwards, what do you think the new Justice League lineup will be? I spoke about this the other day, but I think it's going to be Keaton's Batman, Batgirl. It's going to be Sasha Calais' Supergirl. Probably Cavill's Superman will be there. Maybe the Superman of color as well. And I think there's definitely a Green Lantern as well. I think that's kind of the beginning of it. But I think they're going to build it up to be a really huge Justice League, like Justice League Unlimited, the animated series. Why we would have had an Asian superhero 4 years ago if WB released the original JL with Ryan Choi, but WB was like, nah, cut it out. No, Marvel is the first to have one. WB is lost sometimes. Do you know what? We shouldn't be looking at Marvel all the time, though. Hot Takes Tuesday. I think Walter Hamada is trying to make cheap DC movies like he did horror, but with a Marvel tone. It's a mistake. DC is not Marvel, and making cheap DC films is not going to be competitive. A mistake. He has made some cheap ones. I expect Flashpoint to cost around 150 to 200 million. So I don't expect all of them to be cheap. If they were all cheap, it all depends on the movies, though, doesn't it? If you make a cheap movie that doesn't look cheap and it works, it can work. Sam Dejan reviews. I'm only excited for She-Hulk because Abomination is returning. I know, that's so awesome. Hot Takes Tuesday. Hulk was trash in MCU. Yep. He's an OP character and they didn't know what to do with him. He started off okay, but yeah, they made him into a joke. Sam Dejan reviews. Keaton is older than Ben Affleck. He can't stay for long as Batman. He can if he's training Batgirl. Hot Takes Tuesday. That sounds like a trash Justice League lineup. Well, it's just the beginning. Sam Dejan reviews. Wonder Woman 3 should be Wonder Woman and Superman. That'd be awesome. Kavari, attacking Toby Emmerich family is just... Sorry, there was a moth there. Yeah, attacking Toby Emmerich family is just disgusting. Shame on those fans. Sorry about that. There was a moth. Anyway, where was I? It is. Yeah, of course, attacking Toby Emmerich's family is a dumb move. And it proves Anne Sarnoff's point in a way, doesn't it? Ben Pottimer, I really want Hulk Girl in JL. I think she'll be there. Hot Takes Tuesdays. Zatanna and Blue Beetle will be as good as Mortal Kombat. I bet. Be better. Scott Edwards, Hulk Girl should cameo in Shazam 2. Maybe. Sam Dejan reviews. Hulk Girl could appear in Shazam 2. Well, why not? Hot Takes Tuesday. What happened with Toby Emmerich? Well, I don't know, but a couple of the guys on here have been saying Hot Takes Tuesday that someone attacked his brother from the Snyderverse fandom. It's obvious, look, it doesn't mean we're all bad people. It just means there's a few idiots that can't control themselves. Hot Takes Tuesday. Question mark. Karari and Sarnoff was right. Some Snyder fans are toxic. Yes, some. A minority are, but they make the rest of us look bad. And it's always the way, isn't it? Oh, what's happened to my phone? Did you ever hear Blue Beetle and Booster Gold movie rumour? Yeah, I did. But we saw Blue Beetle, didn't we, in Smallville? And we saw Booster Gold in Smallville. And that's another achievement by the show, by the way. They've done so many things that the DCEU hasn't touched on yet. Ben Pottimore, did you ever? No, sorry. Sam Dejan Reviews. Booster Gold was announced in 2019. Yet that was from a script from Greg Berlanti. It's still in development, and I think they're probably umming and ahhing about it. But it's Berlanti, so maybe eventually they'll do it. It wasn't supposed to be in the DCEU eventually, but you can't just throw a movie out there now. Hot Takes Tuesday. Can someone link me to the Toby Emmerich story? Ray Fisher should be ashamed if this is true. Well, it's more of a bunch of people on Twitter, I think. I can't remember who said it now, but yeah, it was something someone saw on Twitter. So I don't know if someone can link you to that. It wasn't me who saw it. It was someone on here. But yeah, Ray Fisher has stirred up a lot of stuff, and it's purposely done. And it's not about Cyborg. It's not about the investigation. It's about his agendas. And his agenda is identity politics. That's all he cares about. He doesn't care about DC. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about me. Sam Dejan Reviews. I want a Nightwing movie. Yes, so do I. That would be awesome. I'd absolutely love that. So I like the MCU sizzle reel. I think it was really good, and it even excited me, a non-MCU fan, about that. But there's some good stuff coming in the MCU, that's for sure. And you can't. It's difficult to kind of compare it with what the DCEU is doing, because the DCEU are kind of having to start again. Do you like Rise of Skywalker? Do you know what? It's difficult. It's not a bad movie. It's not a great movie. It's a very forgettable movie. They got it wrong, Scott. They got it wrong. Abrams should have wrote and directed every film, shaped the whole thing, but he didn't. At the end of the day, they made a mistake pushing Lucas to one side. I understand, the prequels were controversial, even though I loved them. It's true, they were controversial, a bit like BVS. But they should have brought the father of Star Wars back in, and that was their mistake. Hot Takes Tuesdays. Ray Fisher is trying to get revenge and wanted Snyderverse continued. That was his motive. And it's sad because Snyder Cut is excellent and could have spoken for itself. Yes. But unfortunately, Ray Fisher couldn't help himself. Ronnie Dodge. Last Jedi messed it all up. I just find The Last Jedi a very underwhelming movie, Ronnie. I really do. Just disappointing. But you see, the creatives going around in this era of movie making are simply not good enough. They're not like the people I grew up with watching. They were geniuses. Scott Edwards, have you watched Cobra Kai? I've watched the first few episodes and I really liked it. I want to continue it. Ben Pottimore, remember when Chloe hinted meeting Batman and Wonder Woman in Smallville? She said a rich guy with cool gadgets and a wondrous woman, or something along those lines. Season 10, maybe. Yes, just before she left Clark for a few episodes. I remember that. And you know what? Isn't it funny when, just mentions of Batman and Wonder Woman did it for us? With such innocent times, wasn't it? Now we've got to see everyone. We demand to see this one, that one. But back in those days, just hearing a wondrous woman and a man with lots of gadgets was enough for us. Haven't we become spoiled? But that's true. That's season 10. And if I remember rightly, it was just before Alison Mack took a break from season 10 to do some theatre. And what about what happened to Alison Mack? I was devastated. I looked up to that woman so much. And it just shows you can't trust people in this industry. She tricked people into going into a group, apparently to evolve strong women. They always use that tag, don't they? And basically, it was a sex group or something, wasn't it? Ronnie Dodge. James Cameron will always be one of my favourite directors, especially with Terminator 2. Yeah, they don't make creatives like that anymore. The mentality is gone. The mentality is gone. It's not, we had one person saying that blah, 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 Hamada isn't, accountability over entertainment. At the end of the day, as fans, we shouldn't care. We shouldn't care. It's not our lookout. It's not our lookout if Amber Heard's a shitty person. It's not our lookout if Walter Hamada isn't perfect. You're not perfect and I'm not perfect. What happened to Alison Mack? Right, I'm going to have to hide this because you swore. No offence, of course, but I don't want to get the video taken down. But Alison, I'll explain to you about Alison Mack, though, Hot Takes Tuesday. Alison Mack met some guy and he had a group. I think it was a Nissim group. I can't remember. Anyway, it was in the guise of getting young women in there, empowering young, strong women, like they do these days, lying, pretending they're into feminism and inspiring women. But of course, that's not the case. Anyway, what was going on in there, they were basically it was a sex cult, and they used the young women as slaves. She even tricked Christine Krug, who played Lorna Lang in Smallville, into the group. But Christine had nothing to do with the nefarious activities that were going on there. So it was a big shock. She was arrested by the FBI, and she's still awaiting trial, I think. Ronnie Dodge. Ben Pottimore, God, Smallville was so good. It was something my family and I watched together. So it means so much to me as a Superman fan. This is what I said last night. It's got to be the best DC live action franchise of all time. Look at everything they achieved. And it was a family show. You could sit there watching it with your family. Absolutely. Where are we? Yeah, Ronnie Dodge. Everything is about politics these days. Can't we just enjoy movies like we used to? Well, people like Ray Fisher don't want you just to enjoy your movies, and that's the problem. But I will always enjoy movies because I've got a collection of movies I can do with that with. And at the end of the day, anyone who wants, accountability over entertainment, that's up to you. But I don't care. Hot Takes Tuesdays. I know what happened to her, lol, but I was saying it's crazy. Saw a great documentary on it. Yeah, I've seen lots of stuff on YouTube and TikTok about it. It is crazy what happened. But obviously she's going to spend maybe the rest of her life in jail. So very, very sad. One of the greatest young actors I've ever seen on television. She played a great character, and it's heartbreaking when it's someone you look up to. But she's in my thoughts, no question about it. Obviously what she did was totally wrong, but we don't know the facts of the situation. But very sad. Very, very sad. And I was shocked. I mean, I'm very cynical when it comes to Hollywood. I mean, they talk to us about our own morality, and they talk down to us and they lecture us, but they are the biggest criminals and immoral people in the world. Ronnie Dodge, I got this feeling a slate will be announced at Fandom in October. I think, yeah, definitely. Scott Edwards, who are your favourite Smallville characters? Lex and Lionel. Lex and Lionel are the top. Clark, obviously, Jonathan Kent. But yeah, Lex and Lionel were the dons, weren't they? Lex and Lionel were the best. I thought there was a lot of great characters in the show, but yeah, Lex and Lionel kept you intrigued and tuned. It was a twisted father-son relationship. They're trying to show you the justification why Lex Luthor becomes the insane megalomaniac he becomes. So Lex and Lionel for me, amazing. Even when Lionel wasn't in a scene, you kind of thought, what's Lionel up to now? So he was amazing. He was great. Sam Dejan reviews. I want Steel in the DCEU. Sam Dejan reviews. Did you hear there was going to be a Smallville crossover with Supernatural? Yeah, they decided not to do it, and I think that's probably for the best. Crossovers sound good, but sometimes they're more trouble than they're worth. And you have to squeeze things in, and your production schedules. Scott Edwards, does Helen Bryce appear throughout season 3? She does. She does. Have you started season 3 yet? Because you would have seen her in at least the second episode. Sam Dejan reviews. Black Canary needs an HBO Max series. We'll see what happens there. Who knows? Who knows what the future may hold? Scott Edwards, yeah. Ronnie Dodge, I loved the actor who played Lionel, was also in Shazam as the villain's dad, yeah. He's great, and now he's in Fear the Walking Dead as well. What a great actor. He was in the Scrooged movie with Bill Murray as well. I think he was he in Gremlins? I think he was in Gremlins as well. He's done a lot of stuff. He's a great actor. And it was great that Aaron Miles got him. Ben Pottimore, they kind of had a crossover in season 4. Jensen Ackles was in the whole season. Yeah, Jensen Ackles, before Supernatural fame, was in it. And he was going to be in season 5. That's why you saw them rushedly kill him off quickly and have a little clipping of him in the papers, because he was asked to be in Supernatural. It was a great opportunity for him, his own show. And so we lost that character from Smallville, and he was a great character, and I think he would have had a great arc. and maybe even replace Lex when Lex left the show, which probably would have been a better idea than what they did. But yeah, Jensen Ackles was amazing in Smallville, but he was in Smallville before Supernatural was a thing, that's for sure. And Jane Seymour played his mum. I mean, who wouldn't want Jane Seymour to play their mum? Brilliant. She was brilliant. Oh, I've got to talk about this classic scene between John Glover, a.k.a. Lionel, and Jane Seymour. What was his name? Jared Padalecki. No, not Jared Padalecki. The other one. The other one. Yeah, anyway. The one who plays Dean in Supernatural. So there's this scene, right? So all episode, Jane Seymour's been threatening Lex's life. So anyway, he brings her up to this hotel, right? And she drinks this wine. He's poisoned it. Lionel's poisoned this wine, and she's going like this. So he's holding a vial of serum, which will cure the poisoning. And basically, she's got something that he wants. So he goes, basically, the serum for what I want from you. And she won't give it. She goes, you're running out of time. And he gives it to her in the end. But it's such a great scene and just sums up how great Lionel Luthor was. Have you met Jane Seymour? Is she nice? I haven't met Jane Seymour, no, but I'd love to meet Jane Seymour. Hot Takes Tuesdays. Can't find anything about Toby Emmerich, brother thing. But by the way, loving this segment you're doing. Nice and interactive. Keep it up. Thank you, Hot Takes Tuesday. Isn't it nice to be appreciated? Because there's so many horrible, nasty people. The stuff that people say to me, I mean, it's water off a duck's back. So isn't it nice when we have these... I mean, I didn't even know I could go live. I didn't think I had enough subscribers to go live, but I realized I could. And I thought, why not do it this way? It's cool. It's interactive, as you say. Ronnie Dodge, I hope we see Grant in the Flash movie. I love that little scene between him and Ezra in the crossover. And that scene proves that he's going to be in Flashpoint. No question. Scott Edwards' favourite Bond movie. I'm going to cause some controversy. License to Kill. That's an awesome movie. What's your favourite Bond movie, Scott? Sanderjan Reviews. I want to see Lex Luthor's dad in the DCEU. We want to see everything. That would be amazing, but of course he died. Lionel died. I don't want to spoil it for Scott Edwards. It's one of the best episodes ever. I've just spoiled it for Scott Edwards because sorry, Scott, but yeah, Lionel Luthor eventually does die. Sorry about that. Sanderjan Reviews. I want to see Lex Luthor. Yeah, sorry, Scott Edwards. Tomorrow Never Dies. Do you know what? That's no disrespect. That's one of my least favourite Pierce Brosnan one. But each to their own, of course. But I love License to Kill. It's so kind of lethal weapon type, and I love the music, and it's an awesome film. And for once back then, we had a personal Bond movie. Hot Takes Tuesday, Casino Royale. That's an awesome movie. Spy Who Loved Me, awesome movie, and License to Kill. Yeah. Casino Royale was brilliant, but unfortunately, most of the other Craig movies weren't on that level, and which is sad. And just wait till you see the latest one. Sanderjan Review. Zach said Lex killed his father in the DCEU. Yes, that's true. But a lot of stuff from the DCEU, Zach tells us because we never saw it, and that's a kind of a shame, isn't it? But I was hoping that wasn't the case. I was hoping that he was out there somewhere. We could have had Vincent D'Onofrio play him, the guy who played Kingpin in the Netflix Daredevil. That would have been a great reveal. And it just kind of copies Smallville, and there's a lot more they could have done with that. So that's a shame. But yeah, Zach did say that, so that's kind of disappointing to me. Keep it going, guys. You're doing well. You're doing well. And remember, tell everyone about these streams if you can. Scott Edwards, do you like Avengers 1 and Age of Ultron? I prefer say that again. I prefer the first Avengers to Age of Ultron, but Age of Ultron is a fine movie. Ronnie Dodge, so excited to see Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate and Black Adam. Perfect casting. Shocking casting, I mean, in a good way. I was shocked. It's amazing casting, and I love Dr. Fate. Hot Takes Tuesday. Craig movies dip. Casino was awesome because of the realism. No quips, grounded gadgets, very raw, and Madge was a great villain. Timothy is the most underrated Bond. Yeah, Timothy Dalton is a theatrically trained British actor, and he was probably the best actor, which is not saying a lot, but the best actor that's ever played Bond. Sanderjan Reviews. Denzel Washington should play still in the DCEU. Denzel Washington is one of my favourite actors of all time, but I think he's never going to do a superhero movie. Who would you choose to be the next Bond, Mick? That's a fucking good question, isn't it? That's a very good question. I would like to see an unknown actor play James Bond. I don't want to see famous people play James Bond. It's interesting, isn't it? Because I think this woman of colour in the next Bond film is going to be 007, and I think she's definitely going to be sticking around. So it may be her adventures we're watching here. Who knows? Hot Takes Tuesday. Rank Bond actors who should be the next Bond. Rank Bond. Do you mean rank actors who could play the next Bond? I think the best thing for Bond Hot Takes Tuesday is if Christopher Nolan takes over the franchise, and I mean full time. Not one movie, not two movies, not three movies, about 10 movies. And I think Christian Bale would be an awesome Bond. Who else? So he'd be probably one of my top ones. Henry Cavill would be an interesting one. I'm not sure about Henry. I'm not sure. Everyone would love Henry as Bond. I don't know, Hot Takes Tuesday. There's a few actors out there. I mean, Richard Madden, he's a really good one. He could be my third take. We'll make this a top 5. Who else is out there? Let me think. Actually, if Tom Holland wasn't so short, he could be interesting. So we'll say that's my 4th pick. And who else? Jude Law will be interesting. So that's my top 5. I keep forgetting that we have the Suicide Squad this year to look forward to. Oh, yes, Scott. It's an awesome movie. Sam Dejan reviews. Idris Elba, new Bond. He would be awesome. Hot Takes Tuesdays. Now rank all the Bond actors. Oh, wow. If you're a regular viewer, you know my memory is so shit. But, right, let's do this. So, Roger Moore was my first Bond. So, he's my favourite Bond, right? I would say, and this is interesting, Sean Connery would be near last. I just didn't like him as Bond. Obviously, the guy who only did one would be last. So, Roger Moore, number 1. I think I'd go with Pierce Brosnan as number 2. I would go with, what's his name? Daniel Craig as 3rd. Probably Timothy Dalton as 4th. Who else? I can't think of the others. Where are we? Idris Elba, new Bond, yeah. Hot Takes Tuesday, no rank all of them. Scott Edwards, top 5 favourite MCU heroes. I like, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Captain America, Steve Rogers, Captain America, by the way. Then it would have to be Bucky. I love that relationship. I love those 2 characters. The Hulk, I love the Hulk. I kind of like Thor as well. Who else? And Iron Man, let's say. Sam Dejan reviews. Connery, Dalton, Moore, Craig, Brosnan, Lazenby. Ben Pottimore, did you like Tess Luther when she came in season 8? Ben, I thought Cassidy did a great job in the opening few episodes. She was kind of frightening and dark, but then they lightened her up. Remember that episode when she slept with Zod? That was ridiculous. Hot Takes Tuesday, my best performances. Daniel Craig. 2, Roger Moore. 3, Timothy Dalton. 4, Pierce Brosnan. 5, Sean Connery. And last, Australian guy. So we're close. Yeah, definitely. The same taste there. Scott Edwards, did you like Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Yeah. I was going to say yeah, because I thought you meant Captain America. No, Captain America 2, the Winter Soldier. Do you like Falcon and the Winter Soldier? It's a very disjointed series. The best part of it is when Zemo teams up with Sam and Bucky. I think once Zemo disappears, that's it. It's not that interesting. And that penultimate episode on the bloody boat was terrible. And that's my opinion on that one. I think that WandaVision was a much better show. But listen, I enjoyed it fine. The MCU pretty much is done. Connery is overrated as the Scottish accent couldn't get on board. It's not that. It's just I think his films weren't very... yeah, he looked the part. I just don't... If he was my first Bond, I probably would have rated him. But he came down the line. And Roger Moore was my first Bond. And I loved him. And Roger Moore was such a great guy as well. You know, so charitable, so decent. One of the first people to come out and back, you know, Daniel Craig. When everyone was hating on Daniel Craig, he was the one who said, you know, give this guy a chance. So, you know, I love the old Bonds, but unfortunately, do you like the Highlander movies? I do, but you know what I like more than the Highlander movies? The Highlander TV show starring Adrian Paul, who actually was from the same town as where I lived in the UK, Bromley. So that, yeah, I love the Highlander TV show. It had about 6 or 7 seasons. Amazing show, but I love the Highlander concept. They should do more. So that's for sure, Scott. That's for sure. Have you seen Doom Patrol? I love it. I love it as well. It's an awesome show. I haven't completed season 2 yet, but I love it. I think it's amazing. And that was Timothy Dalton's in that, isn't he, as well? And he's awesome in it. Hot Tuesday. Sorry for swearing, lol. Sorry, Bond is just not Scottish for me, lol. It's okay. We can't help the swearing sometimes, but I have to take the message down just in case they punish punish me for it. Scott Edwards. I even liked Highlander 3 and Endgame. Highlander Endgame, that's the one when they both fight. That was amazing, wasn't it? Seeing Adrian Paul and Christopher Lambert fighting. And then, you know, Adrian Paul Duncan killing Connor. How emotional was that? That was Lex and Clark in Descent level, wasn't it? Rank DC heroes. Well, Superman's my first. I'm not going to say Batman. I'm going to say, what's I going to say? God, I'm trying to think now. Superman, The Flash. I'm going to go for Green Arrow. Green Arrow, I kind of like Green Arrow as well. Batman will probably be fourth. My mind just goes blank, you know. But Superman's always going to be my top. There's so many of them, isn't there? Obviously, Aquaman's pretty awesome as well. Who else? Do you know what? I fell in love with Supergirl as a kid when I watched the Helen Slater film. So she'd be up there as well. Supergirl's a pretty awesome character. More in the comics than in live action. The TV series was a lost opportunity. Do you remember a TV show here in the UK called The Bill? They're bringing it back, apparently. I loved The Bill, Ronnie. And they're doing some kind of thing. I don't know if it's a real, you know, kind of relaunch or if it's just a reunion, but I had heard something like that as well. So I'm excited for it, that's for sure. Any idea when Green Lantern will start shooting? Scott Edwards, do you like Sarah Lawrence, White Canary? Yeah, I don't mind her. Hot Takes Tuesday, rank DC heroes, right? So let's get this right. I have to concentrate. Superman. 1. I've got to think about this properly, though. I'm going to change my mind a bit, but Superman's definitely top. I'll probably say Batman second. Right, Ronnie's doing it. Superman, Wonder Woman. Oh, yeah, so basically we'll do the Holy Trinity. Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, for sure. Number 4 is Supergirl. Now, please don't expect me to remember every DC hero. It's not going to happen. I'll give you a few. Ellen Salter. Hello, Eleanor. What was I going to say? So we've got top 4, which is Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Supergirl. Who would be my fifth? I think we're going to go for Hawkman. Yeah, Hawkman. They will be my top 5 heroes for sure. I tell you what, Hot Takes Tuesday. Tell me yours. Kavari, out of all the new DC movies, Aquaman 2 is my most anticipated movie. Can't wait to see what James Wan brings to the table. Yeah, Aquaman 2 is going to be awesome. It's going to be a war between the humans and Atlanteans on the surface world. It's going to be a great film. The first James Wan saved that movie. It was amazing. The most successful DCEU movie. No question about it. And I'm really looking forward to the sequel. It's going to be great. I think this is going to be Empire Strikes Back level. Eleanor Salter, I don't watch Marvel films, Lo. It's okay. Don't have to watch anything. Ronnie Dodge, I forgot about Batsy. Oh yeah, it's difficult, because when you're trying to think of all these characters' names, I just get a blank. But I think with me, if I'm honest, it's Superman, and then the order can be anything. Superman is the reason I got into DC anyway. Scott Edwards, have you seen Justice League Throne of Atlantis animated movie? No, but I want to for sure. It's meant to be good, isn't it? Batsy, Batsy, Batsy. It's quite a shame what happened with the Harley Quinn character. She was so good in David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Kavari, as much as I like Snyder, James Wan did a better job with Aquaman. Yes, Kavari, you're right. I don't like Snyder's Atlantis in the Snyder Cut. It's not as good as what Wan did. It's as simple as that. And the air bubbles are such a bad idea, as far as I'm concerned. Hot Takes Tuesdays. No one's in DCU, just going off what I've seen in the DCEU log. Wonder Woman 2, Shazam 3, Flash 4, Cyborg 5, Superman 6, Superman's number 6, disappointing. Batman, it makes me sad, this ranking, because Superman is my actual favourite. Oh, I see. That's interesting. Just going what I've seen in the DCEU log. Wonder Woman, Shazam, Flash, Cyborg, well, Superman is my favourite. It doesn't matter. Even in the bad movies Superman's been in, he's always been great. Even in Superman 4, he makes that great speech about the nuclear missiles. It's still there. It still works. So I will always love Superman, and Superman will always be relevant to me. I don't care what people think about the character. The important thing is he means something to me. So that's great. And that's the reason I got into DC. And with Smallville, I learned so much more about these DC characters as well. Scott Edwards, favourite Star Wars characters? Palpatine. Palpatine, Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker. I mean, Darth Vader should be my second, really, shouldn't he? Ronnie Dodge, I'm excited to see what James Gunn does with Harley in the Suicide Squad. You're going to like it. You're going to like it. Much better. Well, anything would be better than Birds of Prey, wouldn't it? So, Ben Pottimore, have you read Doomsday Clock comic with Watchmen and DC crossover? No, I want to, though, because I heard a lot about it, and apparently it's Jeff Johns did that. You know, the guy some of these Snyderverse fans say can't write a comic. So, yes, I really do want to read that, definitely. Wasn't that Watchmen TV series loosely based on that? I didn't watch the Watchmen TV series because they were going after the identity politics element yet again. Hot Takes Tuesdays. You looking forward to Game of Thrones spin-offs? Yes. I loved Game of Thrones mostly, and I'm really excited. The Doomsday Clock is excellent. Everyone says it's excellent. I want to give it a read. I'd love them to do a proper movie about it as well. I think they do need to do straight adaptations, kind of some Elseworld straight adaptations from graphic novels. That will be a great thing to do from my point of view. I'm afraid Hollywood doesn't like doing straight adaptations. It's challenging for sure, but it's worth it. Of course, you have to add some stuff in, or the movie would be too short, wouldn't it? But definitely worth it. There's lots of things you can do with a DC franchise or a comic book franchise or any franchise if you use your nuts. But some people don't use their brains and don't use their imaginations, and Hollywood, as we keep on hearing. Scott Edwards, thinking about Marvel and DC heroes and content makes me feel better throughout the day. Oh, definitely, definitely. It's a buzz, isn't it? I think it's crazy, isn't it? How superheroes are so big now in entertainment. I never thought it would happen. It's a shock to me. Literally, they're running Hollywood, which is a good thing and a bad thing. As much as I love superheroes, they've taken away the variety of films we used to see. Hot Takes Tuesday, they need to do Doomsday Clock adaptation. It would be amazing and a good reason to bring Snyder back. They're never going to bring him back, but he would do a great job with it. But could you imagine Zack Snyder adapting a Jeff Johns comic? Never going to happen, is it? Let's be honest about it. Scott Edwards, Stargirl is the show I'm most excited for. Yes, a lot of good things about Stargirl. It's good that they've done that and part of the Arrowverse now as well, so that's interesting. I think we're going to see a lot of interesting stuff take off from Stargirl, so that should be good. That should be good. Season 2 coming soon. So there's a lot of good stuff out there, and there's a lot of not so good stuff out there. Hot Takes Tuesdays, or they should approach the guy who directed Dredd to do Doomsday Clock. He did a very good job with Dredd. What a shame we didn't get another one. That was such a good film, and it didn't do too well in the box office. Kavari, where did it go wrong with Jeff Johns and Zack Snyder? Well, quite simply, Kavari, they both come from different ideologies in terms of DC. Now, Jeff Johns worked his way up, got into comics. He's written a lot of comics. He likes the inspirational element. And his point of view is a lot of die-hard DC Comics fans' point of view on Snyder and what he did. He didn't agree. These were just two men passionate about these DC characters, looking at things from opposite ends of the spectrum. You know, Johns is not the only one triggered with the way Snyder does DC movies. So that was the problem. Too many cooks spoil the broth. Sam DeJan reviews. Keanu Reeves should do Constantine too. He's doing it. He's doing it. A few months ago, it was in development. That's definitely going to happen. Yeah. So that's really exciting. I heard that anyway. I swear he's doing something with it. Ben Pottimore, new Superman and Lois show is actually really good for CW. The twin brother relationship is my favourite part. Have you seen? Yes, I love Superman and Lois. It's a great show. It's a great, unique take. And yes, it's a really, really good show. I like the Captain Luthor stuff. I like the fact that he was in love with Lois Lane in the other Earth as well. That complicates things. It's an awesome show. Can't wait for it to come back. Ronnie Dodge, I hope we get a Wonder Woman 3 update at Fandom. I think that's the place we're going to get the update, or maybe just before. Hot Takes Tuesday, top 5 Game of Thrones characters. Mine, Joffrey, Cersei, Tyrion, Tywin, the Breaker of Chains. Right. I'm not very good with character names, especially not with Game of Thrones, but Tyrion is my top. Ramsay Bolton is the biggest evil fucker since J.R. Ewing in Dallas. So I loved Ramsay Bolton. Joffrey was difficult to watch, wasn't he? And I did have a good giggle when he got poisoned. So I liked Cersei. I wouldn't put her in there. So yeah, Tyrion, Ramsay Bolton. I don't know. Who was the woman who was in Star Wars? She'd definitely be up there. Jon Snow I liked. And Maisie Williams' character, I liked her as well. Kavari, will Zack ever make more colourful superhero? Will Zack ever? No. Zack Snyder makes films the way he wants to make them, and that's fine. And you can't change the man, right? At the end of the day, he made his 3 movies. It wasn't what the studio wanted. It's over. Appreciate the 3 movies if you do. And if you really love the guy, enjoy the new franchise, the Army of the Dead franchise. That's what it's all about. So no, he's not going to change the way he makes films, nor should he. No one should bend the knee. If you don't want to do it like that, don't do it. Hot Takes Tuesdays. Araya was amazing. Oh, I loved Araya, especially in the early days, yeah. But and I love Maisie. Maisie is the loveliest girl in the world. She really is. When she was in Doctor Who, she was doing the behind-the-scenes stuff. She was interviewing people. She made it lots of fun. Maisie is a great character. She really is. I didn't like Sophie's character. I forgot her character's name now. I didn't like Sophie's character. There's something cold about her. I didn't like that character at all. Arya was awesome. So Game of Thrones was HBO make good stuff. The Last of Us adaptation on HBO is gonna be freaking awesome, isn't it? I can't wait for that. So who's looking forward to the Last of Us adaptation? And that obviously will be on HBO Max as well. So that's a big thumbs up. So, you know, they've got a lot of projects coming to that platform. So they're going to be competitive for sure. No question about that. But really excited for The Last of Us. And I would have liked Maisie to play the young female. I thought Maisie Williams would have been great. Loved The Last of Us. Shit, I've never actually played the game. I'm not really a gamer, but I know the concept of it, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. And if HBO are adapting it, wow, bring it on. Hot Takes Tuesday. If you could get the guys who directed Dredd, Ex Machina, and Gareth Evans to direct any DC characters movie, who would you get? Also, who's your dream director apart from Snyder for MOS2? Right, let's take this a bit at the time. So, if you could get the guys who directed Dredd, Ex Machina, and Gareth Evans to direct any DC characters, right? So, the one who did Ex Machina, I would get to do a really dark cyborg movie, but not with Ray Fisher, another actor who can take it to a really dark level, in terms of Gareth Evans to direct any DC characters, Gareth Evans, I'm not sure, I don't know. Maybe Gareth Evans would make a good Batman movie. Who would you get? Also, who's your dream director apart from Snyder for Man of Steel 2? It's difficult, isn't it? There's a lot of good people out there. There's a lot of good people. It depends what kind of movie you want. Obviously, I think JJ could be doing it, could do something with Henry Cavill. That's a realistic thing. But who would I choose? Who's around now? I mean, I think James Cameron, in his peak, would have made a great Superman movie. Sam Dejan reviews, will Maxwell Lord return to the DCEU? I think not. Not if Patty is disqualified from the Wonder Woman sequel. Hot Takes Tuesdays. Guys, thumbs up the video. Thank you, Hot Takes Tuesday. Nobody ever thumbs up my videos, do they? Are they that bad? The Gaming Mania. Do you really think they're deleting BVS and JL? Why can't they just carry the Flash from GO 2017 to Zack Snyder's timeline? Well, we already know from Zack that Zack Snyder's Justice League isn't part of the canon. But listen, this is not what I would do, the Gaming Maniac. And this is what I think they're going to do. Yes, I actually do believe that Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, Shazam, and Aquaman are the only ones who are going to be the only kind of films that are going to be left as part of the world. And I think they'll move on from that. I don't think they'll delete Cavill's Superman, but who knows? But yes, it is sad, but we know they don't want to work with Zack. We know that Zack's movies were a problem to the mainstream audience and the diehard DC fans as well. Gareth Evans was supposed to do Deathstroke, that's right. Sam Dejan reviews, Richard Donner. Well, he did a great Superman movie, although I was going to say he's too old, but he's doing a Lethal Weapon 5. Ronnie Dodge, I think the Flash movie will blow people's minds. Ezra is passionate about the character. I'm looking forward to it. I've got high hopes for it. Sam Dejan reviews, Quentin Tarantino, Zack Snyder, Joe Johnson. Quentin Tarantino's always wanted to do a Superman film. I'd love to see it. Scott Edwards, I'm excited they're introducing Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Cool. The Gaming Maniac, what do you think will happen to Batfleck? Erased or killed off, you think? It's interesting. Kind of, I would think maybe erased more than anything. Maybe he'll sacrifice himself. Or the shocking one is I still think he's got a chance to exist in that reality. We will see. We will see. But if my theory is right, there would be no Batfleck. So it's interesting. The Gaming Mania, what do you think will happen to Batfleck? Oh, no, we've discussed that. Hot Takes Tuesdays. Dream directors for each DC character. Wonder Woman 3. Zack Snyder. Shazam. I think we'll keep David F. Sandberg. Green Lantern. George Lucas. If you could have chosen anyone, for example, I would have loved the creators of Stranger Things for Shazam. Yeah, that would be interesting. There's nothing wrong with them. I certainly I'll be honest with you about Stranger Things. The first season was cool, but once 11 became a normal everyday girl in a little relationship, I got bored of the show. So where are we? Do you think Reverse Flash will appear in the Flash movie? It's happening. Kavari, I think Walter will hire Ben as a DC director. Maybe. Sam Dejan reviews, J.J. Abrams should do Green Lantern. It would be an interesting movie. He certainly did a great job with Star Trek 2009. So, yes, there's lots of stuff out there. So, let's go back to this one. Dream directors for each DC character, Wonder Woman 3. I think, as I said, Snyder. Shazam, I just think he did a great job. And Green Lantern, I think George Lucas would make a great Green Lantern movie, but maybe even Steven Spielberg. The Gaming Mania, are you a fan of where the DC is headed? The DCEU is heading. After all the pettiness from WB regarding Snyder, it's becoming harder and harder for me to want to give WB money. Yes, I'm a fan of what they're doing. The thing is, none of us really know how it's going to end up. So how can you judge something? How can you judge a dish you haven't tasted yet? So I'm very, very excited for their multiverse strategy. Yes, I love Zack's movies. And I think, look, Zack and WB, I think kind of, they're as bad as each other. They should never have been involved with each other. It was a big mistake. Sam Dejan reviews, James Gunn could do Green Lantern. He could, but I think he's going to be in the remit of the Suicide Squad franchise. Scott Edwards, how do you think the JSA exists in modern time in Black Adam? It's interesting. I don't know how they're going to do this. I think something to do with the Legion. The Legion ring, probably something like that. Hot Takes Tuesdays, thanks, good answers. Thank you. Ronnie Dodge, do you think Gal's Wonder Woman will be a part of the new Justice League? That's an interesting question. I would imagine so, yeah. I would imagine so. There's no reason. Or she may just do her trilogy and that'll be it. Who knows? It's interesting. No. But I would imagine she's going to remain for the time being, at least. But these are the questions that need to be answered. And I'm trying to answer them, but I'm a nobody, aren't I? Sam Dejan reviews. Did you hear James Gunn wants to do Suicide Squad 3 with Deadshot and Deathstroke? That would be awesome. James Gunn can have whatever he wants. That's basic. Walter Hamada, this is what's good about Hamada. He went out there, took a risk on someone who had been fired by Disney, brought him into the DCEU, and it was a genius move, and it's going to work out because by August, all the movie theaters mostly will be reopened. That movie is going to clear $1 billion. So it was a great move by Walter Hamada to bring in James Gunn, because James Gunn is a genius and I like him. I like what he does because what he gives you is pure entertainment. No identity politics, no lectures. He's about giving you entertainment. And that, my friends, is what the mentality and the priority is. As I say, accountability over entertainment is other people's issues who work in the industry, not us who watch the movies. Sam Dejan reviews, Scott Derrickson should do Constantine movie. I'd be very happy with that. I was disappointed how Scott was treated and booted off the Doctor Strange franchise. That was so bad, wasn't it? He contradicted Feige at a platform as well when they were doing some kind of convention, and he said it was going to be scary, and basically Feige said, well, so he got the sack. But I think the real reason he got the sack is because Feige was desperate for Raimi, because with Raimi comes Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Scott Edwards, are Stargirl and the Batman on the same Earth too? Well, it's a good question. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think that Matt Reeves, that might be, look, listen, it may be a thing, but I doubt it. But who knows? It's a very good point, though. A very good point. There's no question about that. Because they're kind of Earth 2s, aren't they? Interesting. But don't forget, after Flashpoint, and I know everything changed after Crisis on Infinite Earths, but I think things are going to change again when Barry Allen reboots the universe. Hot Takes Tuesdays. For me, I do Wonder Woman 3 or an Amazon movie with Ridley Scott producing or directing. Oh, yeah. Trying to think what I'd actually get to direct that. I've seen recently maybe Regina King. I don't know about Regina King. I think Regina King is a fabulous actor. I remember her from Southlands and she was amazing. But all of a sudden she's like directing stuff. I'm not sure about that. Scott Edwards, do you think Wanda will make an appearance in Spider-Man No Way Home? If Doctor Strange is in it, which I think he will be, I think, yes, she could turn up. It's the MCU. Everybody crosses over more than a crosswalk, don't they? It's the way of it now, and you're going to see a lot of this now in the DCEU. This is the direction. It's just a shame we have to wait till 2022 for it all to come together, but I can't wait. I'm highly anticipated for the new look DCEU. For me, my loyalty is to these DC characters and not to any director. I love Zack, but I'm not giving up on DC for a director. The Gaming Maniac. So in your theory, will all the JL members have to meet for the first time again? This is interesting because Andy Machete, as I mentioned earlier, said at DC Fandom last year that the universe will be rebooted, but nothing will be forgotten. Now that's interesting. Maybe the characters will forget, but the universe won't forget. It will be a continuation from a certain period, maybe. But maybe they may have to meet each other for the first time. It's an interesting question. Hot Takes Tuesdays. Have you seen One Night in Miami? It's pretty fantastic. I haven't, unfortunately, and honestly, better than anything Patty has done. And with the writing on Wonder Woman 84. I want DC to at least hear other pitches. Listen, Patty Jenkins proved that she should be nowhere near Wonder Woman. It's as simple as that. And it proves that Zack was the reason Wonder Woman 2017 was so good. First opportunity she got, she took away the shield and the sword. She messed that film up. It's not a terrible movie, but it's nowhere near the quality of the first one or how a Wonder Woman movie should be. And if the movie theaters were open, it wasn't during COVID, that film would have lost a hell of a lot of money. And I believe that film still lost a hell of a lot of money, no matter what they're saying about the figures for HBO Max. They can pretty much say anything and get away with it right now. And this Star Wars movie she's doing, it's amazing she's got Star Wars. It's unbelievable. And apparently a pretty famous guy is writing the movie. Could be George Lucas. We'll see. She's a big fan of all these 80s people, you see, Dick Donner. And it's obvious that Wonder Woman 84 was meant to be like Superman 3 in a way. And she did do a lot of things from Superman 80s movies. She did the whole thing of Wonder Woman not having her powers or being weaker, Superman 2, the comedy sequence at the Mall, Superman 3, the opening sequence to Superman 3. She ripped off a lot of stuff. I will have to check out, though, Hot Takes Tuesday, One Night in Miami. You know what I'm getting into again? Law and Order. Law and Order, Organised Crime is freaking awesome. Awesome, I tell you. Really, really enjoying that. Stabler is back, so I'm a big Law and Order fan. And SCU. Is it SCU, Special Victim? SVU. Yeah, Special Victims Unit. It's always been a great show as well. So I'm actually going back to watching, I'm giving streaming a bit of a break, and I'm going back to my physical media. I'm going back to network TV shows as well. I'm giving them a chance. I'm so bored of Netflix originals and Amazon originals. There's some good stuff there, but a lot of the stuff they do is so forgettable. Gaming Mania. I feel like after what happened with Snyder WB, it's not me so much giving up on DC, but more so giving up on Warner Brothers Pictures, USA Management. I don't know. I feel like they've shown their true colours. Well, here's the thing, the Gaming Maniac. The entertainment industry is a very competitive business world, and competitive business people are not particularly nice people, and they don't have to be nice people. They wasn't nice people when you thought they were nice people anyway. So I don't judge my entertainment on the kind of people who make it, because fans of Woody Allen's movies would never watch another Woody Allen film again, would they? The point being that they are the studio that holds the IP. They hold all the cards, and I'm going to give them a chance to see if they can rework this franchise and make it successful. But, you know, the entertainment industry is full of very bad people, and we're giving those people money. And that's the way it is, I'm afraid. That's life. We're not perfect. They're not perfect. But at the end of the day, I would like to hear WB's side of the Snyder argument, because I think if we heard from them, maybe if things would be a little bit more balanced. Zack Snyder is a director who wants to get his own way all the time. But at the end of the day, when you're dealing with the people who are giving you their money and it's their IP, there has to be a balance. There has to be some kind of, sit down, coming together. Zack didn't want that. And at the end of the day, it was a mess from the very beginning, because they were working with someone who just wanted to go off on a tangent and do whatever he wanted and didn't want to listen to anybody else's point of view. That's a problem. Even as much as I love Zack Snyder, Scott Edwards' best villain on Stargirl is Shiv. I have to take your word for that. But yes, definitely. The WB Snyder situation is a complex thing, is a complex situation. And I don't think It's difficult. Look, it's difficult, but I can't. I'm not. I want to see these DC movies. I want to see how this multiverse strategy is going to work out. The Gaming Maniac, fair enough. Thanks for the response, mate. Responses, mate. You are welcome. That's what I'm here for. It's a bunch of geeks talking about geek, and it's fun, isn't it? Ronnie Dodge, higher bosses are never nice people. By sometimes you have to be quiet and get on with your job. Listen, it's quite. Oh, you retracted that message. Well, I'll talk about it anyway. Basically, listen. As I said to I think Gaming Maniac, I think it was Gaming Maniac, that I don't need people to be good people because I'm not a good person all the time. I've done bad things. I've done indifferent things. I've hurt people. People have hurt me. I've forgiven those people. Why do we live in a generation now where everyone has to be perfect? None of us are perfect. You know, some of you out there have probably cheated on your missus, right? But I'm not going to judge you for that. So I'm not going to say I don't want to answer Gaming Maniac's questions just in case he cheated on his wife, right? I'm not saying that you have or you're married or anything, but I'm just making a point. Ronnie Dodge, higher boss, no, sorry, Ben Pottimore, Zach is where he belongs on Netflix, where he's appreciated, and gave him a whole franchise before Army of the Dead came out. Be interesting though, wouldn't it, Ben Pottimeyer? If Netflix owned the DC franchise, I'd wonder if they'd be so free and easy with Snyder. Something tells me not. When there's a big IP involved, things are different. But yes, he's where he belongs. Netflix don't get involved with the creative elements of their stuff. They buy things, they bring in creatives, and they let them get on with it. They just want the subscribers, they just want the names, they just want the projects. That's all they care about because they don't need $1 billion movie hit from a movie theatre. That's the difference. They're under less pressure. Ronnie Dodge, I mean, we're all human. We all make mistakes. That's right. And that's the point. Now, as long as we don't go around killing people or doing other horrible things like that, we're cool people. And I'm okay with my mistakes. And I'm quite happy with people not being perfect. The problem is with social media now, everyone wants to pretend they're perfect and they want to judge other people. Those people really trigger me. And growing up and not being a perfect person and making mistakes and pulling my mum's plants apart when she used to tell me off when I was a kid, I used to get revenge and just destroy her plants. Wasn't a nice thing to do, but it's something I used to do. And now my mum's no longer with me anymore. I feel a bit bad about that. But this is how life is. Life is a balance. People need to understand that. You don't have to be perfect, right? And I'm comfortable with my flaws. I'm comfortable with being flawed. And that's great for me because I don't have to put pressure on me. What if someone finds out I did that? I don't care. I did it. Hands up, I did it. Don't care. Hot Takes Tuesdays. I'm sorry I like Zach. He's an amazing director. But it was WB's money and there's to lose. Let's like it. Sorry. I'm sorry. I like Zach. He's an amazing director. But it was WB's money and theirs to lose. In my opinion, WB really hasn't being shown to do anything wrong. They released the Snyder Cut after all. Listen, they're not perfect. They don't have to. It doesn't matter if they did something wrong. But the point being, I think Zach and WB are probably just as bad as each other. It's in the past. It's gone. We got the Snyder Cut. It's a great movie. I think we can, I think we can move on from it now and look forward to these movies or not. It's up to people to make their minds up. Scott Edwards just found out Stargirl is officially renewed for season 3. Have we even had a season 2 yet? That's nuts. Jeff John's got a lot of power over there. So that's good news for the fans of Stargirl. Coming from Scott Edwards, Stargirl is officially renewed for season 3. So if you're a fan of Stargirl, that's great news. Congratulations, Scott. Ronnie Dodge, I'm so excited for Sasha's Supergirl. Oh, yeah. As I told you earlier, growing up watching the Supergirl movie with Helen Slater, after watching that film, I was in a daze. I was in love with Supergirl. I was in love with Helen Slater as Supergirl. And I loved the character ever since. Obviously, what they did with the TV show was terrible. I'm sorry, but what that TV show is just embarrassing. Embarrassing. So finally, we're going to have an awesome Supergirl. And at first I thought maybe Melissa Benoist might be involved with the new multiverse strategy. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe she'll have cameos or something, but it's nothing to do with her personally, but her show sucks. Sucks big time, in my opinion. And it's always important to talk about opinions, isn't it? And say it's my opinion. It's not the universal truth. It's just my truth. So people understand that you're not saying the universal truth. Hot Takes Tuesdays. WB made mistakes financially and continues to make financial mistakes, but morally they did nothing wrong. They were set up by Ray and Snyder, and the fans are jumping on cancel culture, toxic BS. At the end of the day, a bunch of fans dirty talking a multi-trillion-dollar studio makes no difference to them. And Sarnoff made it clear a while back now that they're going down a new direction and they want an interconnected universe and they want to please a variety of people and not just one set of fans, meaning the Snyderverse fandom. So Ben Pottimore, she played Kal-El mom on Smallville. Helen Slater did play Kal-El's mum, Clark's mum in Smallville, and she was excellent. And the episode Blue is an excellent episode. Rodney Dodge, you and Maya have something in common. You both love Helen Slater. Oh, you and your dad, you mean? Helen Slater as Supergirl. Wow. The film's not perfect by any means, especially now. It's really dated. But she is an excellent Supergirl. There is no question about that. Forget the writing, forget the film, but she's a brilliant Supergirl in her peak as a young actor. It was a great choice. It really was. And Christopher Reeve's Superman was supposed to share that film with her, and he changed his mind. He didn't think it was a good idea. What a shame. What a shame. How awesome would that have been? But definitely, Helen Slater as Supergirl. Oh, I was so in love with her. So in love with Helen Slater. There was something so accessible about her, and of course, she was beautiful. That helps. Dad, that's right, Dad. Yeah, I thought you said Dad. I kind of guessed. So, have you got anything else for me? Let's give this the 5-minute warning before we close off the video for tonight. I always feel bad about ending the video because I want to talk all night, but my voice is going and my lips are dry. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes to ask me anything, to make any comments which I can respond to. So when it comes to 1 hour and 27 minutes, I will be waving good night for you. But it's been a great stream and it's been awesome. So if you've got anything for me, please comment in the comments right now. Hot Takes Tuesday. Helen Slater was to Supergirl what Chris Reeves was to Superman. Exactly. That's what I've always said. Hot Takes Tuesday. She had a great innocence about, oh my God, I love her. I love her. I might have to watch it tonight. She's just amazing. She really is. And I remember watching it on the telly on a Sunday afternoon. I was besotted and gutted. You see, back then, people didn't really want to see female-led movies, which is a disgusting thing to admit to, but they just didn't do well. And we live in a different era now, thankfully. It was a different time, though. It doesn't make people bad. It was just the way people were brought up. It was a different society. You know, we're more evolved now, aren't we? Which is true. But I still think the era I grew up in was an amazing era. I think the 80s is one of the best decades ever. The music, the films, much better than this era. Oh my God, this era is so angry, isn't it? So angry, and social media's killed everything. I do wonder what cameos will be in The Flash. A lot. There's going to be so many cameos, you're not going to know what to do with them. Ben Pottimore, I love how in Smallville episode 1, Lionel's reading the newspaper on the helicopter and it refers to Queen's boat going down, and they had tied it in later in the season. Yes, that's a great Easter egg, isn't it? Yeah, I remember that. Amazing. And nobody knew they were actually going to bring in Green Arrow. I'm assuming the showrunners, Alan Miles, were big Green Arrow fans because they did make him a big thing in the series. And season 6, when he kind of was a guest star for quite a lot of that season, I thought he was amazing. Probably better in season 6 when he wasn't a regular than when he was a regular in the final 3 seasons. In the final 3 seasons, he always seemed to be going off the wild edge at some point and drinking, and then Clark convincing him to go back to being a hero. Right, Hot Takes Tuesdays. Ranked Superman actors. Chris Reeve, duh. Tyler 3, Smallville guy. Henry 5, Superman Returns. Guy 6, Lois and Clark guy. Right. The Lois and Clark guy won't even get on my list, Hot Takes Tuesday. So Christopher Reeve, Tom Welling, Henry Cavill, Brandon Routh, and I think George Reeves will be in there, because George Reeves, for his time, was sensational. He didn't even want to play Superman. He didn't even like playing Superman. It messed up his career, but he was amazing. Dean Cain, for me, was a crap Superman. Simple as that. I don't really like Dean Cain, to be honest, but yes, definitely that's my kind of list anyway. Ronnie Dodge, I'm excited what her theme will be like with Benjamin doing the soundtrack. Yes, Benjamin's a very, very interesting kind of composer. In Shazam, he did kind of Steven Spielberg-y movie kind of music, like Gremlins kind. I know he didn't direct Gremlins, and E.T. He's very similar to John Williams, and so it will be very interesting what kind of thing we'll get. He's a really good composer, though. I'm excited for him doing it. Hot Takes Tuesdays. No Tyler Heckling. Oh, hang on. How rude of me. Right, so George Reeves comes out. So he's still my last choice. Now, I like Tyler. I haven't got an issue with Tyler, but he wouldn't get above any of my other choices. All right, no. I don't know. Is he better than Brandon Routh? I'm going to have to I'm going to have to sleep on that one. But yeah, Tyler Heckling would be my list. Yeah, sorry, I forgot all about him. He's basically, I think what's got me to respect him now is Superman and Lois, because they really did make him a beta male, didn't they, before? They loved him taking some punishment. And what was all that about, him leaving Earth and leaving Supergirl in charge? How ridiculous was that? Ben Pottimore, John Glover was in Gremlin and Shazam, Low. Yes, I know. John Glover was in the Scrooge movie, as I mentioned earlier, as well, with Bill Murray. What a movie that is. Oh, I love John Glover. But for me, what John Glover did in Smallville was sensational. I hadn't seen a character like that since JR in Dallas, and he took it to another level. He was bad to the bone, but the guy had a logic. The guy had a plan from the very first moment. He wanted to create some kind of Cain and Abel fantasy, like Lex used to tell him. So he couldn't do it with him and Lucas, so he did it with Clark and Lex. He tricked Lex into killing him in Descent. There's no question about that. By the way, Michael Rosenbaum, great decision not to be in Crisis on Infinite Earths. After they messed up Tom Welling's Clark Kent in that, God knows what they would have done to his suits. Ben Pottimore, Glover in Smallville was phenomenal. Yeah, amazing. If you don't marry my son, I will kill Clark Kent. I love that moment. Season 6, Promise. What an episode that is. Totally agree about everything about Supergirl. I think Sasha will be one of the highlights. Sasha's a great kid. Sasha's been doing really well in daytime soap, and that's nothing to be ashamed of. She's won daytime soap awards. She's a great choice by Andy Muschietti. I think Andy Muschietti is a very special director, and I think he's going to surprise people with The Flash. I think he's a really great guy. I like his sister. I like him and his sister working together as well. I think that's a great thing. So I think The Flash is going to be, look, people want things to fail, but just because you want something to fail, it's going to hurt more when these films are successful. Where do you think the failure is going to come? James Gunn's The Suicide Squad? No. The Batman? No. The Flash? It's 50-50. Aquaman 2? No way is that film going to be bad. Shazam 2 will probably be a little bit darker than the first Shazam. I think that will be awesome. These are good creators making these films. What's your thoughts on Ghostbusters Afterlife? Well, basically, Ronnie, here's my theory. The original Ghostbusters are the ghosts in the film. Makes sense, right? I'm looking forward to it, but I think Ghostbusters should have died after Ghostbusters 2. I don't think there's an audience for it. I think they're going for the kind of people like me and you who maybe grew up with it. But yeah, Ghostbusters isn't a franchise that can survive. But then again, I would have said that about the Karate Kid, and look at Cobra Kai. So if you've got a good imagination and a good tape, you can make anything successful. So, definitely. I think that's it. Hang on. Ronnie Dodge, totally agree about everything about, oh no, I've read that one already. Yeah, I think, hang on, Ben Pottimore, my favourite line from Glover is you can't deny our true nature. Can we, Lex? No. We're loafers. Oh, I love that. I love it. It's when they have the fencing fight, and Lionel was good, and then he turned him into bad Lionel again. That is a great episode, isn't it? That's when you have the two Lexes, isn't it? I am the villain of the story. I've even got the bald head right. Oh, before I go, right? Best Lionel Luthor moment ever. Season 3 finale, gets his hair shaved off by the same person who beats him up in season 4 when he's in prison. Everything's going to shit. It looks like Lionel Luthor's planned anything. He has his head shaved off, right? And then he goes like this. Thank you. That's just a classic. Ben Pottimore, yup. Hot Takes Tuesday. Who is Benjamin doing the soundtrack for? He's doing the soundtrack for Shazam 2 and for the Flashpoint movie. He did a good, he did a really good job with the first Shazam. As I say, he's very John Williamsy with his music, so I like him. I'm not sure if I would have chosen for Flash, but he's a good composer. There's no question. I like the guy who did the Aquaman soundtrack and the Wonder Woman 2017 soundtrack. I would have loved him to do the Flash soundtrack, but Benjamin will do a really good job. Ronnie Dodge, totally agree with you. Look what happened to the Terminator franchise after Dark Fate. Well, when you make entertainment for every reason apart from entertainment, Ronnie, listen, Ronnie, I think what you could do with the Terminator franchise is take it away from films and do a Walking Dead apocalyptic thing set in the future, the machines against ordinary people, and have them as rebels. That will be a great show. I don't think it works with films anymore, and it's another franchise that not too many are interested in. They stand the first one. They certainly look. Terminator 2 is like the Dark Knight movie. People are always going to stand it, but nobody's ever going to want to see another Dark Knight movie. You know, people will want to see new iterations of Batman. Ben Pottimore, that was my dad's favourite scene with Luther, getting his head shaved. My dad passed away, and he loved that scene. And Lionel, sorry to hear your dad passed away, but he had really good taste to love Lionel Luthor and love Smallville. It was a good show. Thank you. It's just brilliant. Everything's going to shit, right? That bit when Lex drinks the whiskey and he falls to the floor and he's getting his head shaved, and you can see he's so happy with himself. I just love evil characters. This generation wants everyone to be good and nice, but I love evil fuckers. Evil fuckers are the best. They make your story interesting. Without a good villain, it's not worth having a good hero. Always remember that. Anyway, we're going to wrap up for tonight. It's been a great chat. It's gone over. You can tell it's been a great live tonight because it's gone over how long I planned to do it for. I was planning to do about an hour. But it's been a great evening. We're going to do this again. I'm going to be back live tomorrow for tomorrow's Big Mouth Daily. So let's hope we've got some big breaking news stories to discuss tomorrow. Ronnie Dodge, Future War Show is something I've always wanted. Yes, that would be amazing because the whole thing always builds up to the future against the machines. Let's see it. Let's have a Walking Dead movie, a V kind of movie, the rebels versus the machines. That's their reality. Make it dark, make stories, right? You know, make connections between the humans and the machines. It would be awesome. Ben Pottimore, good talk. It's been a great chat. I'm signing off for tonight. I will see you again tomorrow for the Big Mouth Daily. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for everything. And I will see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye. From the rainbow. Bye-bye.